Hi everybody, it's me, Shannon LaBruyere, and I am alive and loving it this Sunday Night Live. I am so glad that you joined us. Hop on in, the water's fine. A beautiful, beautiful, almost spring day in Michigan. So for us, what that means is we look like spring, but it feels like winter. So it's still freezing out there. Hi, Luke. Hi, Samantha. I'm so glad you're jumping on. Missy, yay! So glad you're here. I love it. And here's a toast, a thumb roast coffee, right? My favorite coffee, the best coffee on the planet. Awesome. So good to see you. We'll take just a minute and give people a little bit of time to jump in. Muhammad, I'm glad you're here. Joe Slicker, it is cold, but it looks pretty. Sylvia, hi and welcome. Luke, I'm so glad to see you. I missed you last week, both ways. Missed you at the training, and I also missed you on Sunday Night Live, so I hope you're doing well. So glad you guys are taking time out of your busy schedule to feed your soul. Susan, I'm glad you're here. It's great to see you. Tonight, folks, we are going to talk about power leaks, and I hate to even share this story because this, if I'm not careful, this can still just irritate me, and then that is a whole nother issue. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the story. Years ago, my husband and I got our electric bill and opened it up, and to our shock, it was $550. We had a modest home. We didn't run the air conditioning. There was nothing that should have allowed us to have a $550 electric bill, but we did, and it still irritates me. So I'm going to share more about that in just a minute. Sylvia, I am so glad you got back from Ludington. That is awesome. Ludington had to be beautiful but cold, I'm thinking, right there on the lake, right? So welcome. I'm glad to see you. Brian, it's great to see you. Megan, so glad you're here. You guys, this feels good. I think you like the daylight savings time, right? All right, Benjamin Dietrich, thanks for jumping on. Wow, you guys, we are getting quite a crowd. I love it. I love when there's people watching live because it gives me so much energy. So it's fantastic. And Sylvia, I know you stayed warm, but I'm glad you're back just in time to jump in. All right, so my sad story about the electric bill. $550 on electricity. And we're looking around our house thinking, we turn off lights? We had a gas stove? There was no explanation for our $550 electric bill. But we knew that somewhere there was a leak. Somewhere power was getting drained from us, and we were paying for it, and we didn't know where it was. So we started looking high and low. Where is this power going? We checked the whole house. We checked the appliances. We checked everywhere. We could not find it. We called the electric company. We made sure the meter was fine. We exhausted every avenue to figure out where was this power leak happening. And after about 2 weeks of spending, we knew because we had a leak. So every day that we couldn't figure out this problem was a day all of our electricity was being sucked somewhere. We finally found it. Ken went out, and way in the back of our yard was where the well was at. So he went out, checked the well, and realized that the well pump was running constantly. We didn't know it in the house, but it was constantly running, and it racked up. Gosh, we paid almost $1,000 more in electricity than we needed to because we had a power leak that we didn't know we had, and we had trouble finding it. And as I was thinking about that today, I've been thinking a lot about power this week. I feel very powerful. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the more sunshine or something, but I just feel like, yeah, I've got a lot of energy. I can't wait to get going and get stuff going. Yeah, I love those thumbs up. Yeah, I feel powerful. How about you? Do you know that you are a powerful person? You have power. You might not always feel it, but whether you feel it or not, it's there. It's like when you have the light switch off, the power's always there. You only see it when you turn the light on. When you flip that switch, we're like that. Every one of us has power. And I want you to get your brain around that. Before we jump into how we lose it, I just want you to really think about the fact that you have it. You are a powerful person. You have the power of choice and decision. You have the power of choosing your attitude, choosing your goals, choosing your acquaintances, choosing your friends. We have so many choices, and really that's what power is, the power to choose. So I'm going to talk about 3 areas in our lives tonight where we leak power, where our power just seems to get sapped, and you may not know where you're losing your power, but it might be in one of these 3 areas. Just like we didn't know where all of our electricity was going, you might not know where your power is going. And I'm not ashamed to admit that the reason I know that these are drains on our power is because I have experienced them. Some of them really recently, but others of them I'm thinking you have experienced as well. And I want to invite you, as I'm talking about these areas where I know we lose our power, I want you to think about areas where you lose power. Maybe it's not a problem for everybody else, but it is a problem for you, and I want you to think about that. All right, so these are the 3 places. The first one, and this is a big one. This is a big one. It is blame. A few years back, I was doing training for customers, and I was teaching them how to use the mail to build their businesses. So we met at a local post office, and we had sent out invitations all around the community, invited customers in so that they could come and learn how to use the mail to either get more customers through advertising or perhaps to fulfill customer orders through shipping. So we had a great presentation planned, and I was so excited for it. And this particular event had about 15 people who were signed up, which for us was a good sized crowd. Super excited. I show up at this post office, I walk in and I say, all right, I'm here to do the training. Where do we set up? And the postmaster looked at me and said, why are you here? And I said, well, we have a customer training scheduled in this office for today, and I'm here to do it. And he said, why didn't I know? I said, well, I communicated with people in your office, and anyway, that conversation did not get me far, because he immediately said, who didn't tell me? I was, excuse me? He goes, who didn't tell me that we had this meeting scheduled today? And he was off to the races. He was not going to sit still until he found out whose fault it was that he didn't know that there was a training. And while he was taking all of his time and energy and enthusiasm, and I mean, it wasn't positive enthusiasm, but he was definitely enthusiastic. I mean, there was a lot of energy going there. He spent all of this energy going from door to door, talking from person to manager to supervisor to secretary, you name it. He was asking them all, why didn't I know? Who knew and didn't tell me? Blah, 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 blah. And the whole time, the customers are arriving. They're starting to line up outside of the conference room. And he's not even letting me in so that I can set it up, because he was so focused on blaming somebody. This is the trap of blame. It feels good for a minute. It can feel good for a minute. When we feel like we have an excuse, we feel like we've let ourselves off the hook. But the bottom line is, as soon as you start blaming somebody for something, you have automatically assumed that you had no power. You assumed you had no power at all because it's all their fault. As soon as you say it's their fault, you have said, I had no power to do anything about it. And that is not true. As we tore through the problem with that training and why he didn't know and how come it wasn't set up and all of that. It turned out that there were some really valid reasons why it didn't happen, and they were very easily fixed. They were communication issues that were not terrible. They were easy to fix. I mean, so easy it was like going in and clicking a little button in the Outlook calendar, and then it was over. Fixed in 2 seconds. There was nobody to blame. But that man wasted all of the energy that he could have been spending doing something productive, building relationships with his customers, helping them to learn how to use his services to build their businesses. And he squandered it because he chose to blame instead of taking care of business. Who are you blaming because you're not getting what you want? Who are you blaming because things aren't working the way you wanted them to work? Blame is never a solution. Blame gets in the way of solutions. If you are in the blame game, you are giving away your power. It is just leaking right and left. Take a look at your conversation this week. Take a look at how you describe what happens to you when things go wrong. Do you automatically blame the weather? The sun was in my eyes. I was tired. My kids make fun of me all the time because whenever we play a game, if I lose, I have an excuse. I was tired. I'm feeling kind of sick. You know, I haven't played that game in a while. And they tease me about it, and they're absolutely right. So don't get caught up in the blame game. That is one of the way your power leaks. All right. The second way that we leak power and we don't realize it, thank you for the thumbs up. The way we leak power and we don't realize it is by whining. When we whine, we're pretending we have no power. My mom must have told us 100 times a day to stop whining. I don't know if you have children. Have you told them 100 times a day to stop whining? Did it ever work? It doesn't. I can't stand whining. I can't stand hearing people whine. As a leader, if someone on my team is whining, I am very quick to turn it right off. I shut it right down. Nope, we're not going to whine. Let's shift that. But I've got to tell you, this past month, starting at the beginning of March, I got stuck in this whining rut and I didn't even realize it. And that's one of the reasons why we're talking about this today, because I realized that my power was just being sapped because I had fallen into the trap of whining. The worship leader at our church was going to be out of town for the whole month of March. And he asked me if I would play the piano and sing in his absence. Now, I'm a strong singer and I love to sing and I have no problem singing, and I am a weak piano player and I don't feel comfortable doing it, and I don't enjoy it because I'm not good at it. That's the fact. That's how I looked at it. And so I said, no, no, I don't want to. I'll sing louder so that you don't miss the keyboards. And he just said, no, that's not going to work. And so finally, a couple of people chimed in, and I said, okay, I will try it. I will try it, but I'm just letting you know that it's going to stink. Now, you guys have seen me on Sunday Night Live. Is that how I usually behave? Do I hit you as the kind of person who just walks into a situation and says, yeah, well, I'm going to really stink at that? I know, I surprised myself, but I didn't realize it at the time that I had started the whining. Then I proceeded to do what I said I would do. I did play the piano and have been, and sing at the same time. And predictably, not so great at it, because every time we take a break, I'd say, yep, I'm not really good at singing and playing at the same time. Then I really kicked into whining. This microphone's not in the right spot. I don't like this stand. The stand is in the wrong spot. How do you deal with this stand? It's in the wrong spot. And then it's like, you know what? I don't like this key. I really like A flat. I don't like G. Whine, whine, whine. This is the thing. When we whine, we're pretending that we can't do anything about it. And that's not true. When you think about kids and they're whining, I'm bored. I don't have anything to do. Do they have the power to do something about that? They do. They do. They just aren't. They're just choosing not to. It's the same for us grown-ups. I was whining and complaining and bellyaching, and all of a sudden, thank God, the light came on for me as I was getting ready to whine yet again about the fact that I can't see the words when I'm singing with this microphone here. I heard my voice say that, and it was like I was a different person, and leadership Shannon kicked in, and I thought, stop it, Shannon, get a grip, move the microphone stand, try it on the left side, try it on the right side. So many ways that I could take ownership of that situation instead of whining. And this is what it cost me. You know, like 2.5 weeks of me whining meant that I wasn't getting any better because I'd already made up my mind it was terrible and could never work. I wasn't getting any better. I wasn't being an inspiration to anybody on the team. I was dragging them down. I wasn't lifting them up. I wasn't doing a good job at what a person who's on a worship team is supposed to be doing, right? Which is helping people to be able to worship God. That's why they're there. That's why I'm playing the piano and singing. So I realized I was in the whining zone, and I decided as soon as I recognized it to get out. If you are a whiner, I want you to consider that. Consider what that costs you. Every time you whine, what you're saying is, I don't have the power to change anything. I can't do anything about it. I want someone else to do it. All that power just leaking out of you. Power that could be used to make a productive change. Like Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. If you want positive people around you who don't whine, be a positive person who doesn't whine, right? So, first thing that sucks our power is blaming others. Another thing, number 2, is whining. And the third thing is pettiness. Petty grievances that we cultivate. If your power is leaking out of your life, if you're not productive, if you're not getting where you want to go in life, if you feel like you're spinning your wheels or you're stuck, take a look at where your power is seeping out of you, because you need every ounce of energy you have to accomplish the great things that you were designed to accomplish. You cannot allow yourself to lose your power and your motivation and your momentum because of petty grievances for things that happened back there. How many of us have spent all morning stewing over the fact that somebody cut us off in traffic? I have done that. I am not proud, but I have done that. How many of us have held on to a mistake that we made a week ago, and it still nags at us that we did it? We still think, oh, that was so dumb. Why did I do it? It was a small thing, a petty thing, something that in 20 years won't matter at all. And we give half of our day to it because we're stuck in pettiness. Eric says, I had to tell myself to stop bitching and start planning for success. Exactly, right? Quit belly aching. Don't let that power seep out, and then you don't have it when you really need it. It can go toward the good or the bad, right? Hanging on to petty grievances that other people have done to us, people that we know, people that we don't, can take all of our energy. We'll spend all of our focus on what happened back there. And like I always say, don't look back. You're not going that way. This week, I made a mistake and double paid for an online program. I paid for it the first time, and it didn't look like it went through. And I was really excited to use it. I didn't have much patience, so I was like, yes. Hi, Donna, by the way. I'm glad to see you here. And is it Kishore Bora? Thank you for being here. You guys, I love that you're jumping on. I've missed some of you, but I'll go back in the comments and let you know how much I appreciate you being here. Where was I? Pettiness. Oh, I double paid for an online program that I purchased because I didn't have patience. Paid for it the first time. It didn't look like it went through. Went back and got it again so that I could start using it right away. And then 15 minutes later, I get another invoice in my email that says, yeah, you bought it. So I bought it twice. It cost $27 the first time. It cost $27 the second time. And I wasted a good 3 hours being miserable about it. Absolutely miserable. The cost that mistake made to me was far more than the $27 I lost because I let something petty and small start sucking away at my power. Shannon, why are you so impatient? Why couldn't you have waited just 10 minutes? Why didn't you just get up and get a drink of water and come back and check? On and on and on. It was over. It was done. I've requested a refund. It's over. It's no longer sucking my energy. But we get stuck in those petty moments back there, and it prevents us from actually using our power now. Let's see, Eric, you can't drive looking in the rearview mirror. You have to look forward to win. It's the truth. Yes, we can't always look back. We're not going that way. So those are the 3 areas that I've recently experienced where I know we lose our power. We blame people. That means we assume we have no power. When we blame people for things, we assume we have no power. We just assume it's all on them. They have to take care of it. When we're whining, we're pretending we have no power, but we really do. And when we're being petty and holding on to petty small things, small grievances, small mistakes, we're giving away our power. We're actually sending it all the way back there where it can't do any good. So, what do you think, you guys? Where do you lose your power? Where are your power leaks? The things that you know, oh man, I need to stop that because I have no energy when I'm done. I saw a wonderful meme on Facebook that somebody posted, and it said something on the order of this. Sometimes you're just done. You're not angry. You're not upset. You're not irate. You're just done. What a freeing thought that we can make a decision to be done with whining, done with complaining, done with looking back. We don't have to get angry about it. We don't have to suffer about it. We can just decide, I'm done. I'm going to do it differently next time. Don't let the circumstances in your life drain you of power. You can take control of it. Don't be shocked at the end of 5 years when you open up your bill, your electric bill, and say, holy cow, I didn't know that I had given away so much of my power and now I have nothing. Eric, what you got? I'm curious where you found your power leak wisdom. Oh, Eric, it's hard-won wisdom. It is wisdom hard-won. I was thinking about it this week as I was feeling powerful and I just think, excuse me, I just think the combination of more sunshine and a little bit nicer weather and knowing spring's on the way had me thinking hopeful thoughts and looking ahead. And I started thinking about how powerful I felt and how excited I am for the future. I've recently retired from a long career with an organization that was very good to me, but it told me what I had to do a lot of the time. And I am thrilled to have the power to be able to choose where my energy goes next. And then I saw those interruptions in my power as I reflected this week and realized, oh, I'm a powerful person, but I can't let these small things divert me from my major mission. So that's where I found my wisdom, Eric. I learned it the hard way. Hopefully, the folks who have jumped on here, and Shay, I'm so glad you're here. Hopefully, those of you who have tuned in will be able to learn from my mistakes and maybe catch some of your power leaks before they take too much of a toll. I am so glad you're here. Thanks a lot for your comments and questions. I really appreciate it. Eric, thanks for your insight. I loved it. Shay, glad you jumped on at the last minute. Let's see. Oh, and a thumbs up. Yes. All right, you guys are fantastic. Thank you for being here on Sunday Night Live. You make my life joyful. I love to share with you. Look forward to next week doing it. And if you haven't signed up for my email list, you can go to shannonlabruyere.com, get on my email list, and I'm sending out a weekly email now that has a link to this video, so it makes it easy for you to share with people. And it also has hopefully some wisdom and stuff you can use to get through your day. James Rose, my power and strength comes from Jesus Christ. Amen. Isn't that a fantastic, amazing, mind-blowing thought that our power comes from a source that is so much better than we are. And we'll let that drain and not take advantage of it if we're not careful. Yes, our power comes from the source, Jesus Christ. It's amazing. Shay, you need to get on my mailing list. Yes. And Tina, glad you're here. I'm so glad. Oh, Luke's telling you that it's Sunday Night Live is at 7. I get it. Yes, every Sunday Night Live starts at 7 o'clock on Sunday evenings. And then I have a video. If you want it, I can send you all this stuff. Shay, go and sign up to be on the email list at shannonloverier.com. And you will get all the information about Sunday Night Live and all this other good stuff. So glad you jumped in and caught it just at the tail end. And Tina, you missed all of the good talking, but fortunately, you will be able to go back and watch the replay if you want. And it was just good to see your name on here. You guys are great. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you go. Unless there's another comment. I got a few minutes here. We usually go till 7:30. I'm loving the interaction. For those of you who don't know, like Shay, Sunday Night Live happens every Sunday at 7 o'clock. I have a website called shannonloverier.com where you can go and you can read my blog. I have a weekly blog that gets posted there. There's a calendar that says some of the public events that I'm at. There's also a little bit about me, some other things you can poke around and investigate. And I also have a YouTube channel where most of the Sunday Night Live videos are archived. So if you would like to be put on the mailing list, actually, you could just comment in here or send me a Facebook Messenger with your email if you don't want to put it in the public comments, and I'll add you to the email list. And then you'll get a link to the YouTube channel, and you'll get a link to my blog and all that good stuff. All right, Eric, what we got here? How many people do you think feel powerless because they don't know how to conquer a new challenge? I wonder. What do you guys think? Do new challenges make you feel powerless or powerful? I'm trying to think for me. New challenges for me usually make me feel powerful instead of powerless. I get sort of energized, like, yeah, you can do it. Even though it's new, I like the challenge. But how about you guys? What's your tendency? And do you go with the tendency? Do you go with that initial fear of trying something new if something pops up on your radar? Or do you automatically think, yeah, something new, I want to conquer it? Are you a mountain climber, or are you somebody who says, yeah, just report from the top, tell me how it looks. I'll stay down here where I'm familiar and comfortable. I don't know, how about you, Eric? Are you energized? Do you feel more powerful when you have a new challenge, or do you feel less powerful? I wonder, what about that? And how does it bring it out of you? What does that show up like? That's actually a pretty cool question. What does our power show up like? How do you act when you feel powerful? I'm gonna have to mull on that. How do I know when I'm feeling powerful? Not just because it's in here, but what do I see? Good questions. All right, enough to mull. Sylvia says, try anything once, twice if you like it, and most things anyway. Right, yeah, Sylvia, so you're willing to jump right in and try something new. And what happens if it doesn't work? Missy, since I've had coaching, I feel more powerful. Previous to any coaching experience, I would say and let me see if I can see more. I would not handle it as well. Missy, you've hit on something good there. Sometimes we don't handle new challenges well without a little bit of help, right? So the coaching piece is huge. I agree. And that's been the case for me. I've had a lot of coaching, and for a lot of my clients, I help them with the fears of the new challenge. So thanks for chiming in. Eric, I have a tendency to dig into information but not have the confidence to follow through and make it come reality once I know what to do. That makes me curious if it's confidence. Is it confidence, I wondered, to follow through? Because it's new? So how do you get past it, Eric? How do you get past it and learn something new? What's your go-to coping skill? Missy says, if you haven't been coached, ask Shannon about more info. Oh, thank you, Missy. Thank you. I coach Missy. Missy's a terrific lady, and I am pleased to work with her. And if you don't know, let me just say, Missy is the owner of Thumb Rose Coffee, which is a thriving, growing coffee company here in Michigan. And she's getting ready to spread her wings and start a coffee shop in Croswell, Michigan, which is right by Lake Huron. It's pretty cool. I'm excited, and thank you, Missy. I have been honored to help you on your journey, truly honored. All right, Eric, so think on that for a little bit. I'm curious, how do you follow through? How have you jumped over the hump before to make it become reality? Because I know, Eric, you do some coaching too, I think. Oh, yeah, shameless plug, Raise. Oh, go Pam. Yes, Raise Coffee Company. Raise, is it Raise Cafe? Is it Raise in Croswell, Michigan? Well, if any of you visit Croswell, Michigan, if you're ever out on Lake Huron, down by Port Huron, Port Sanilac area, Lexington, you could stop at Raise in Croswell. You sure could. So yeah, shameless plug. Good job, Pam. I can tell you're a good friend of Missy. So Eric says, I now have a believer in my camp who helps me through the mud. Oh, Eric, I love that. Right, we don't have to conquer it all alone, do we? Sometimes we need to borrow belief from other people, right? We don't believe it ourselves. We don't have the power to get it done, but we can borrow some from a buddy or a friend who believes in us. Missy says, it's just Raise. We're going to Raise. Getting a cup of coffee at Raise. I love it. It's exciting. All right, you guys, this has been awesome. It's been one of my favorite Facebook Lives because I love the interaction. So you guys are the bomb. Thank you so much. It's been great. Keep that conversation flowing because I go get myself a cup of coffee and I chat all night. If you guys are up for it, I am as well. Thank you so much. Mwah! I love you all, and I can't wait till next week. Have a great, powerful Monday, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.